Everyone, we decided, Ron looked at me last night and we got talking about some things and we decided to come on an hour early. And we had did this even before the announcement that Wolverine is supposed to be having the lady on that's the last living
Rodriguez.
uh, descendant of the fund that's going to release all the money that's going to pay all of this. So I figured a lot of people might be wanting to show some interest in that. That's why we decided, hey, Margaret, that's why we decided to come on an hour early tonight. That plus the fact that you guys all know I've been taking care of my daughter's dog all week, and I think he's starting to hit a bad spot today. He was very sad, wanted to lay around and just looked towards the kitchen door like anticipating. And he has a right to do it because usually they leave on Saturday. They usually come home either Friday night or early Saturday. Now they're not even coming home till Sunday, probably mid in the afternoon and that. He's having some problems, so I wanted to go over and be able to spend a little more time with him. But I'm going to go ahead and say the pledge and say the music, and I thank everybody for coming on, and I had some really good talks with some people today, and Savior was on. Me and her did a chat, and I talked to Cindy last night, and there's a lot of things going on, guys. We're going to discuss, and we're going to discuss Bruce and some other things, and we're going to have some fun tonight, and that's all we can do. We can't sit around and mope and, oh, it should happen, I gotta have it happen. It's not going to happen until it happens. And I mean, believe me, when I talk like this is a tough thing for me to think. This is a tough thing for me to swallow because, boy, a big part of my message when I talked to God today, it was about, it's time this happens. I mean, I was low, but then you people start talking to me and things start to happen and we start seeing things, and so I think we're ready to go. Let's do the few things and then we'll come back and talk a little bit to the kids, and then we'll move on. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt as love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to
Yes, yes, yes. God bless the USA. I'm proud to be an American. And guys, as uh, as I did my show yesterday with the children, I talked a lot about the sports, and I want to talk a little bit more to the kids about that tonight because to me, if we can't save sports, if we can't do things, then we're in for trouble because look at what the kids are going to do then. And I am going to touch the kids, but then I'll talk about this is kind of to the kids, but also to everybody. And Jimmy, Super Jimmy, I sent some stuff to your mom. She sent me a message back thanking me about the beds. I did listen to something today. The beds are real. The trouble is we only have about 20,000 of them and we need to take care of millions and millions of people. So we're going to, and see, and that's what I say. That is a major problem. So how do you solve that problem? Simple. You let us revalue, and I know myself, I'm willing to what we can do, put a lot of money into more. But not just more beds, but as the beds are being made, as these beds are being created, also the people who know exactly what we need, I need to meet with these people. I want to put a Medbed center in Buckingham. I want to put another one in Herscher. All the small towns, this what I call the city, which is Kankakee, Bradley, and Bourbonnais, which when you leave one, you don't know you're leaving and going into the other town. There's 3 of them just like that. It's nowhere near as big as that place in Minnesota, but it's still a lot of people. But what I'm saying, put more than one there. I've already got one location I know I want to buy. But what I'm saying is they get with us and say, Patriot 5 and Patriot 6, this is what you're going to have. We get construction going, so the buildings will be built. Everything will be ready to go. So when these beds are ready and everything is ready and the doctors are all ready, we put them in there. And within 6 months to a year, we can have them everywhere. See, because it's my goal, not Jimmy. It's my goal not just to get you better, get mommy better, get me better, get Ron better, get so many people better. That's not my goal. My goal is to keep us that way forever and ever and ever, as long as we choose we want to live. And how do we do that? Well, right now, if something's wrong, you go to a doctor, and I'm going to use Linda as an example. She just had to take her dog to the vet. Well, you know what? Why can't it be that the person or the animal, we have every 3 months or every 6 months, we go in for a checkup to make sure our DNA is still perfect, to make sure everything is right. And I'm telling you, we can create what we need to create. So Jimmy, just know that they're there and you're special with all of us. And we're going to get you there as soon as we can, along with Mommy. Mommy is our priority to get her on these things because of things that's going on, along with Marianne, guys. And please pray for Marianne's nephew, who he's fighting problems like that. He is doing a little bit better, but this young man in his 20s has went through more than most people should have to go through in a whole lifetime. But that's all going to change because we're going to a better world. And that's why I talk to you kids. Patriot 11, we haven't had a chance to chat. We haven't had a chance to talk. I know we will. I know Grandma and Grandpa will contact me soon. But, they're probably wanting to keep you to themselves right now because they didn't have you all school year and that. Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp, I was turning my TV around last night and Wyatt Earp came on. And now you would think that alone would be a sign from God, right? Oh no, because then I turned it around a little bit more and I found the movie Karate Kid. So think about it. I find Wyatt Earp and Karate Kid in the same evening at home, and I decided to watch something else. And I love the movies Karate Kid, but wax on, wax off, right? It's just, Patriot Princess and our little queen and Patriot Hunter, her handsome, very nice brother that treats her with all the love that she deserves. And I'm sure that there's fights because I can just see the feistiness in this little girl. I can see that she's Janice, she's gonna be a handful. But Hunter, we got your back, buddy. Patriot Boog and Boogaloo and Boogaroo. I keep seeing Grandpa say, we need these beds now. We do. We do, and they're ready, guys. We just got to get everything going on. But remember, all of you kids and all of you adults that's listening right now, remember one thing. We don't have to get it 100 times. We don't have to get it 1,000,000 times. We have to get it one time. The movie The Little Giants proved you only have to do it one time and you can be a hero. In the case of me being a White Sox fan, all we have to do is win one time a week and everybody thinks we're having a successful week. Terrible, terrible team, but you know what? They're my team and I love them. So, I just got off the phone just before I came on the show tonight. Patriot Super Gymnast had called me and was telling her that I think her little dog is missing them and that. So I'm gonna give them a call when I go over there tonight after the show, and to take him out, I'm gonna give him a call so they can all start yelling at him through the phone and he can hear him and see him, because he needs to pick me up, But she's the only one that's actually called me. My son Brandon with Small Hank and Patriot Small Hank and Patriot Kira. They're on their way home. I talked to him a little over an hour ago, and they was about 2 hours and a half away from home, so their vacation is about done. Amber and David, Grandma Bo's grandson, and them, they've still got a rest of today, tomorrow, and they'll leave Sunday. Matter of fact, I think they're leaving tomorrow night, staying in a hotel, and then driving the rest of the way. Patriot 7, I got to say hi to him. He came on for a moment when we was talking, me and Patriot Super Gymnast. And Patriot Little Monkey, I haven't talked to her but one time in a week. I keep getting messages from my daughter saying she misses me, but she don't miss me enough to talk to me, and that's okay. It's their vacation. It's not mine. I'm just wanting them to have fun. Do I miss them? Yeah. Patriot Leona and Leilana, I was in my account the other night, and I said, well, how did I miss these? There was literally pictures of little Leona that my grandpa had sent me a while back. So I looked at them, and then on Facebook they posted some of Leilana and kids. As I talked last night, that pretty much takes care of the kids. But as I talked last night, I talk more about baseball than I do football. Football, I love football. I love the Chicago Bears. Basketball, hey, we had Michael Jordan, so that's enough said, right? Hockey, we had Stan Mikita and Bobby Hull, Kane, and, we've won plenty. When people say Chicago's a terrible city for sports, just in the last, since 1984, I think the city of Chicago has won a Super Bowl, played in another one. They've won 6 NBA titles. They've won 2 World Series, with one with the Cubs and one with the White Sox. And I think they've won three Stanley Cups in hockey. So, yes, we're down now. But, here's a saying, guys. Don't kick a dog when he's down. You should never kick a dog. But it's a saying, because the ones that you kick when they're down, all of a sudden they're not as friendly as when they get up. And they take no prisoners. But I talk about baseball, and I was talking to someone. Someone sent me a message. They asked to say anonymous if I talked about it on the show. They sent me a message and they says, what would you do for baseball? What would you do to make it a better game? I said, well, first of all, I'd make the kids who's learning, when humanitarian projects, we make sure that the kids from the very first, if they want to start a kid playing, like my granddaughter, Patriot super gymnast, if they want to start her playing at 4 years old, then she has to be taught the game, because see, you go and you let her play for 2 years or so, and she's not learning the game, and then when she should know something, now all of a sudden you got to start. So get coaches in there. So what, you got to pay them. So what? It's a humanitarian project. I want to save sports. And it starts right at the very first league. But someone said, well, what would you do in the major leagues differently? And I said, in the major leagues, what I would do differently is I would not start a ball game until the first Monday in April. That's 4 weeks in April. I would, excuse me, you're going to have, there's going to be 29 days in that month. So that first Sunday, from what I'm understanding, that's how it's going to work there. And then you're going to start Monday as the first. That's what I'm understanding. So what I would do is that I would play a double hitter or a game, just a game, whatever. Everybody starts. No moving this and moving that. Every team plays that first, unless they come out and say something. Everybody gets Monday off. Tuesday, Wednesday, everybody plays. Thursday, they get off. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they play. With every week, 4 weeks a month, they play a double hitter on Sunday. They're getting every Monday and every Thursday off. And someone said something, and they said, wait, if you're only playing 6 games and you're giving all these days off, how are they going to get 162 games in? It's plain and simple. You have April, May, June, July, August, right? April, May, June, Seoul, August, September. That's 24 weeks. That's 144 games. Now, if you put the rest of them in, you can get them in by the thing. I had it figured today you need to play 27 weeks at six ball games a thing. And it can be done. It can be done. But that's just my idea. How do you get the football back? You start letting kids have fun. But everybody plays. My grandson played flag football this year. The first game he played in, my grandson is not an athlete unless it's his karate or martial arts or whatever you want to call it. But his very first game, all they had him playing, they had 3 extra kids. And they played defense, and they took 3 kids from offense out and set them down. And it was always the same 3 kids setting on offense, and the same 3 kids setting on defense. That's how they did it. And the third possession that the other team had the ball, the kid went to pull the flag out, missed the flag, but the kid, when he tried to get him to miss it, he did a little shake and bake, and he fumbled the ball. And my grandson picked it up and ran it about 20 yards. Almost got a touchdown, but he doesn't run the fastest in the world. That's not the point. When he picked it up, he knew exactly what to do. And you know what his reward was from his coach? Okay, defense, we got the ball offensively. Defense, bring the other 3 in, take the other 3 out. And he had to go and get a way to go. Jason or Hank, whatever, he didn't get anything because they had to get their showmanship boys in there. Going to this school, watching my kids go to this school, I've seen so much talent come through this school in baseball, not so much baseball, but in football. But you have to play the same kids all the time. My son's junior year, he quit after his junior year to dedicate himself to show choir. My son's junior year, he weighed 262 pounds. He was big, and he was a good blocker. In the previous years that he had played, all the way from the first league all the way up, he always played offense, defense, and special teams. Now all of a sudden we get a brand new coach his senior year, a junior year. And the coach tells him he don't know what he's doing out there. Out of the 9 games that we played in the regular season, we went 1-8. We got beat by an average of 42 points a game. But about 13 players played 95 to 98% of the time. The other kids sat on the bench. We had 47 kids on the team that year and 12 or 13. Now I said, we averaged losing by 42 points a game. That's with a win in there. Okay. Everything said and done, on them games, them 8 losses, we led by double figures in 6 of them at halftime. But by the time the third quarter came around and got about halfway, these kids were so tired. We have to teach kids right. We have to show kids how to play. I don't care what they do in the majors. I don't care what they do in the NFL. I don't care anything sports. I don't care what they do. If we don't get it in our kids' head to love this game, to want to play this game, and be taught right, to have fun, we're doomed. And then we're going to have kids, all they're going to want to do is be on cell phones, tablets, and computers, and we have to get away from that. If you remember last night, I talked about that. We have to get away from that. Play duck, duck, goose, red rover, 2-hand touch football, just sandlot softball, because, it's easier to play softball than it is baseball, because a baseball hurts a lot more than a softball. Plus, you can play girls and guys together. Not saying girls can't play baseball. There's a lot of girls that can play baseball. But we have to put the love back into everything. And I hope you guys see the passion. Now, what does this do? How is this a humanitarian project? I just said we got to have coaches from the very first league all the way up. So if you're paying coaches, you're creating jobs. But you're also teaching kids what's right. Now, before I get off of the kids, schools, what's going to happen? We've already heard that hospitals will never be the same. Doctors will never be the same. But what are we going to do? I don't know. What are we going to do? We're going to do things right. We're going to teach them right. I was talking, that pretty much does that, covers that. I was talking to Savior today, and we got talking. She got telling me that she's been watching more mainstream media news. And I said, it's funny you said that, because, see, I stream all of my channels. I don't pay no money to watch TV. And I get a lot of news channels. I mean, I can hit the button and move up one channel, it's news. I can move up, it's news. But if you guys noticed, if you ever turn on any news things, just 2-3 times a day, just to have a little something to do.
Turn it on just to have a laugh.
Huh?
Turn it on.
Yeah, turn it on just to get a laugh. If you're feeling blue, all you have to do is just turn it on, because the things they say. But we were warned a little while back, when this is all said and done, you'll know the good ones, because they'll be wearing bow ties. You'll know that they're getting taken out, because you're going to see a lot of the news people. Now, I don't know if a woman's going to be wearing bow ties, but we can only wait and see. me and Savior was discussing today how we're starting to see some bow ties. And you know, until she brought that back up, I had forgot about it. I was not thinking about it. So just think about it. Things are going. Things are moving. A little bit ago, I was sent a video. And I'm going to turn my voice down here. Oh, that's turning it off. No. Okay, down. Bear with me a minute. I just don't want. Okay. In this video,
one of each of those. You guys will
never
be,
mind.
You'll be so. I mean, I want to prove to you guys.
It's
Can I prove to you guys?
the video is with the black lady, Dr. Is it Pruitt?
Improvement.
Dr. Pruitt. And she has a lady on that she's interviewing. And the name of the video is Proof. What do you mean proof? This lady shows, guys, the video's on Truth Warriors. I can maybe see if I can send it over to you if you want to watch it. But this lady that's talking to Dr. Pruitt is telling her a website to go to.
I got it up on Patriot 6 and Patriot 5.
Okay, Ron's got it up on Patriot 5 and 6. So she tells the lady to go to this website, and this lady does. She goes, Dr. Pruitt goes to it. She tells her exactly where to go, what to look for, and what she's going to see. And when she goes there, it actually is proof of the revaluation in the quantum financial system. It has everything right there. They read it. I can't read it here because there's going to be talk, and there's some couple things said in there that if they're heard on here, we might get us into a little trouble. But I highly suggest you can go to Truth Warriors, and it says right in it, it's a white box. It's a video, and it says proof. Let me go here to my Patriots 5 Forever site, and I know Ron said he put it up there. I don't.
Not in
Okay.
forever.
Oh, okay, no.
It was Patriot 5, Patriot 6.
He's got it on Patriot 5 and Patriot 6 on the Messenger. So here is a big green light, and that's what it says, green light. Here's another green light. It's time. The green light has been given by President the Hat. Global military alliance in motion. Global alliance to take over fake news, mainstream media, make mass arrest. John's wanting some answers. The ultimate truth is about to emerge from the shadows. We have everything. How can we use what we know? How do you legally inject / make public / use as evidence what you're witnessing unfold? Trust the plan. And John, when you're saying more questions, they're doing the best they can right now, because speaking with Savior today, our main concern is some of these people going to wake up? If you come too heavily. Now, guys, I don't know if you've seen the couple of videos that was out, and the wife of Sleepy should be ashamed of herself that she is so power driven to stay in her authority, she's, what she is. And she just lets her husband go out. I mean, I don't know if you guys seen it, but he he announced yesterday that he was going to announce the guy from the Ukraine to speak. And as he's going to announce it, he's bragging him. He's telling how great of a man he is and how great of a man he is. And he says, "Now everybody, I give you Putin." Are you kidding me?
Also said Trump was his vice president.
Then he was asked in another video. He was asked in another video. I see where people are having trouble saying I'm going in and out. Ron's listening to it right here, and it's not. So it's just what's going on. That's the only thing I can say, because volume and everything is good for our end. But thank you for telling me. So anyway, in his other video, they ask him, do you think that his VP is trained? Could your VP actually run for president and be a good president? And his answer was, I wouldn't have brought the hat on as my vice president if I didn't think he could do it. Are you kidding me? But the reaction when he introduced Putin is there, and he's laughing like crazy. He's making a total idiot of himself. Here's another green light. The green light has been given by President the Hat Global Military Alliance in motion. Global alliance to take over fake news. I already read that one. That's twice up there. Must be a good one. Crazy True News Chat. XXXXXXX. Attention. XXXXXXX. All in red, the X's. Special beds are in place. Special beds and medical staff are in place. Medical teams are on a 1 hour notice. I've been told this is it. That was forwarded from Rhea Diane with 2 N's. Patriot Diane with 2 N's posted it. For any of you interested, special live chat tonight, scheduled to start at 8 p.m. Eastern. Watch for the join button to come there. It will be on the Chosen Ones, and that's the one that I told you that, here, let me read this one. Special chat and question and answers with guest speaker, Miss MS Elizabeth Rodriguez of the Rodriguez Trust. Scheduled to start 8 p.m. Eastern. Just prior, we will hold a brief test tutorial in a mic, whatever, to give you your questions. Okay. Elizabeth Rodriguez, if you listen to the one show today, can't think of the name of it, but the Judy Bidington, where the guy talks. If you listen to that, she will be on with Wolverine, and she is the only surviving person of the Rodriguez funds, and we know the Rodriguez funds is going to be the funds that take care of all of this. It looks like that's pretty much it for that right now, so I'll go back to supposedly we're really close. I know they keep saying on certain days, and they give me so many days. I've got them all scrambled like scrambled eggs in my head. the given days that the hat is going to pick his and announce who his VP will be. And you know what's funny? Because last night I was at the gas station and I was visiting an old friend. We've been friends for 40 some years, and her grandpa used to work with me at the factory, and her grandpa was the one that helped me create something that saved our factory millions and millions of dollars. I didn't get nothing out of it, but I kept my job. But we're talking, and I'm talking to her about the hat gonna pick his running mate, and she says, "Who do you think it's gonna be?" And I said, "Junior." I said his name, Junior. And she looked at me, she says, "He's dead." And I said, "No, he's not." She said, "Are you bleeping me?" And I said, "No." She said, "No, you're pulling my leg now." I said, "No." So I showed her some things. She goes, "Oh, wouldn't that be great?" So I talked to her about the video. I said, "Do you believe in certain things?" And she goes, "Yeah." She says, "I would rather believe in something that could bring us good than something that's going to be bad." And this is a young lady that desperately needs these beds because she is hurting that much. And I says, in 1962, President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, he did a video. And he said then in 1962 that the hat would be the 46th president of the United States of America. Who was the 46th president of the United States of America? The hat was just a young punk sowing his oats. For people from our generation, you know what that means. It got to a later generations where you said something like that, they thought you were smoking your oats or something. I don't know. So he announced that. Oh, wow. Now, how would he know in 1962? How would he know when this kid? What really surprises me about that is why this kid wasn't drafted into the military. Did you ever think about that? Now, I love the man, but I had two brothers that was drafted into the military. One of them took it seriously. He loved his time in the military. The other one, who happens to be my partner, as me and him sat and talked last night, he served 2 years in the military. He got a 1.5 day pass to come home in 2 years. He spent most of his time in Germany and France. This was just a 19-year-old boy. Never really been away from home. Just loved to play sports. Loved to hang out with his friends, and now all of a sudden he's in 2 other countries. He did acquire a good taste for beer. My other brother, our other partner, Patriot4, he got sent to Vietnam. This is all the same year I'm going into 7th grade, leaving the school I went to for 6 years to go into another school a lot bigger. I mean, just the 7th and 8th grade had more kids by probably 5 to 1, maybe 10 to 1 than what we had in our whole school. I got to do that. Oh, plus the fact that our landlady died. The guy who bought it decided he wants to tear our house down, and I got to move out in the country. I developed a very, very bad case of depression, and I fought it ever since. But I win. I've never had no.
We had cell phones back then.
We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have computers. I mean, as Ron and me were talking last night, if he could have just did a video call like I just did with my granddaughter just a little bit ago. Even if he only did it once a week, at least he's in contact with his family. This man literally went almost 2 years. And then I'm moving on a farm where none of my friends are around. I don't have a car. I'm not old enough to drive. And it was, but they were drafted. But why wasn't a hat drafted back then? I guess it is true. Oh, we got hey, Arthur, Arthur, you being a bad boy or girl, I don't know. Arthur, all we ask is when you come on here, just keep it cool. Oh, we got them out tonight. I could name the names who I think it is, but you know what? It's not worth giving them any satisfaction. And I got great people working there and for me, so my tax bill, yeah, it's ridiculous, ain't it, Grandma Bo? But anyway, it is what it is, and we're close, guys. I really believe it. Here's one game over. Thank you for playing military law. See what else we got here. Oh, I can't do, these are the audios, I can't play them. So I'll have to go back. And once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure, in fact, whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain, when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That what this storm is all about. And I agree with that 100%. For anyone who's actually listening right now, how many of you feel you're a lot different than what you were when you joined our group, or just joined any group, or just following anybody? I mean, I just started this group just to see if I could help some people. I mean, I guess people like Casey and Arthur, they just don't want help. I don't know what they said, so I apologize for saying that, because I don't know if you really said anything bad or just said something that you can't say because we want to keep the show going. When David faced Goliath, he didn't talk about how dangerous Goliath was. He talked about how great God is. Don't talk about fear, talk about faith. Let's see what this is. Reminder to all, we're transitioning to the new U.S. Treasury dollar, debt-free currency backed by real-world assets. This isn't entirely new. It's a return to sound money principles. In 1862, President Lincoln issued $450 million directly from the U.S. Treasury debt-free interest notes known as greenbacks. In 1963, President Kennedy signed Executive Order 11110, issuing $4.3 billion directly from the U.S. Treasury, bypassing the Federal Reserve. These debt-free interest notes were known as silver certificates. Now we are upgrading the system using blockchain and distributed ledger technology to reclaim our financial sovereignty. Why move away from the Federal Reserve notes? The Federal Reserve system creates money as debt, leading to inflation and economic instability. By shifting to debt-free currency, we can achieve a more stable and prosperous financial future. Keep the faith and continue to learn and understand why this transition is essentially for ours in the future. Importantly, know what you hold. And it's got a couple pictures of the debt cloud. Okay, let me go back. Pulling something up, so give me a second here. The harvest, in parentheses, crop, has been prepared and soon will be delivered to the public for consumption. A higher loyalty. Hunters become hunted. Treason, Sedition. How do you remove a liability? 6 o'clock can be dangerous. Family proud. Okay. Here's something. Hat rally alert. You're going to want to make sure you're watching me. But it doesn't. If it says it, it doesn't say it where I can see exactly what it is. Okay. I got this sent this. It said this is good for the show tonight. Military don't speak because they are busy. Their actions are determined by the quantum computer that takes into account all aspects of the international situation. No one really speaks except to encourage. I warn for months what will happen. Troops will be stationed in every country. Then comes the internet shutdown. 10 days of darkness. The military will then arrest everyone who has cooperated with the New World Order and the creation of the V deep state cabal will fall in these days and nights. We need 100% people indoors to see what the U.S. Army will be broadcasting on everyone in the world. It will be very painful, but we no longer can separate people. Pain is happening now. It had to happen. Sleeping sheep must also experience the pain. Now is the great awakening. Civilization will never be the same again. After the great fall, those who have not noticed the global collapse will wake up. It's time to wake up the sheep. It's actually far worse than you think. Okay, that was a good reading. Let's see. Didn't realize I had this much.
I got a lot of crap today. You ain't even read Gucci?
Massive breaking news. IQD holders saddle up. Activity transaction on the FITR platform. Iraq is now showing transactions activities on the FITR platform. FITR are exchange traded funds that come under the category of cross currency swaps. Okay. I think I just read this one. I think I hit the same one again. What is CME, CF reference rates? CF, I'm not going to read that. I don't understand it. Okay. You might be old if you remember penny candy cigarettes, soda machines that dispense glass bottles, diners with table jute boxes, metal ice cube trays with levers, party line telephones, telephone numbers with a word prefix, Butterfield 8, news reads before the movie, 33 RPM records, reel to reel tape recorders, green stamps, roller skate keys, hula hoops, wash tub ringers, the Fuller Brush Man, 35 cents a gallon gasoline, 15-cent McDonald's hamburgers, 10-cent fries, 5-cent packs of baseball cards with a slab of pink bubble gum. Yeah, you might be. So I guess I'm old because I remember all of that. Let's see what Bruce has to say. I haven't even talked about Bruce tonight, guys. Let's see what he's got to say. Let's go back to see where we are from Tuesday. We had information we were talking about to clarify on an email going out to the RC leaders, and it ends up didn't know when it was going out or who received it and who received by 2 going out or who received, and it was received by 2 at 5 p.m. in the afternoon, which is great. So the next thing, but we also had information about meetings going on in Reno with principals that are deciding when to pay out to bondholders and private groups and platform trades. And that was to be being decided today. We also heard the timing of this from another source that everyone would start Saturday night and cultivate through Sunday the 14th and do. And what does that mean? The email that comes out to the leaders is describing the fact that we would go out of notifications either Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. That was Tier 4A and B. Now we also found out there is another meeting tomorrow at Reno, 10 a.m. and would determine. We don't know how long it will go, but let's assume that it goes 2 hours. Tier 4A, which is us, the bondholders, and privates, and others are all kind of their own and could start tomorrow to Sunday, but we should be looking at notifications via email Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, and it is a nice solid rate on the dong and an increased package rate of the dinar, but the package rate went up by $5 just in one day. Now, when me and Marianne was talking about this last night, and even when you hear Bruce talk, he doesn't even know himself what this package rate is. So we can't, if anybody knows, share it with people here or wherever. Bruce also goes on to say that when you go in, if you get the 800 number, you want to go to a redemption center. You do not want to just take your stuff in and go to a bank. You're going to get much more money at a redemption center than you are at a bank. So he advises you. He also went on to say the dong is really moving up. It's really moving up. It's very solid, along with the dinar, which is, now listen to this, guys. The dinar is much higher than we ever expected. I've heard him say stuff in the past, $15, $20. You know, and remember, I originally with Ron got involved in this because we were hoping to get $3 for each one we got. So for them to say it's much higher, and like I said I've heard as high as 15, I've heard as high as 25. I don't know. We'll find out when we get there. And now Bruce decides to go on now and just talk about Sue's brand new program. Sue's got another program, guys. She's got another one, and I'm not going to sit here and cut it down. I don't believe in what she does, but it's none of my business. It's their show, and they have the right to do on their show what they choose to do. Let's see now. Let's go and get Judy, and then we'll call it a night. But before I tell you we'll call it a night, I also want to make the statement. Yesterday, when I did the show, my intention was going to be all about the kids. I wasn't even going to go in and cover anything other than the fact I was going to read one thing that someone had sent me, which would have took me about 2 minutes, and I was going to read Judy. That's the only thing I was going to talk about. And then my loving family here, with you guys doing your research and you guys doing everything you do, you had me such a great show. I had to talk about all of it. And I thank you guys, and I thank you, and me and Savior, we talked today about size of shows, and we can talk offline sometimes about what we're looking at and that. But I'll be honest with you, for a long, long time, I got to where I did not listen to the part where they tell us about the restored republic. I just read Judy's, and I was satisfied. But since I've been having to make 2 trips a day back and forth to Clifton to take care of my daughter's dog, my grandson and granddaughter's dog, I've been listening to them every day, and I tell you, I'm getting some really good stuff out of it. Really good stuff. So this is from Judy Bidington, 12th of July, 2024, The Great Awakening. This revolution won't be for everyone. It will be the best of times, not the worst of times. Have faith. We are witnessing living in a biblical story. What a time to be alive. It's only wise to have at least a month supply of food, water, and medicines, just in case you need to help someone also. Little acts of kindness make up a big difference. As I said last night, just being kind to this lady at the gas station and telling her and giving her hope. As she looked at me and she said, Ralph, she said, you know what, even if it doesn't happen, at least now I got hope that it can. And then when I talked to her about other things, she was very, very appreciative. Judy, know what we think we know as of Friday, 12 July 2024, the U.S. Federal Reserve and IRS were not government agencies, but owned as an independent banker deep state cabal, U.S. Inc. Corporation. Since 1913, the deep state cabal of the U.S. Inc. UK royalty and Vatican have spent our U.S. tax dollars by laundering monies for themselves in their central banks and then charging us interest when we have to pay them back. There was no law required U.S. citizens to pay taxes. Yet, honest patriots as Ken Cromer were sitting in a jail after proving a U.S. federal tax court that he owed no money to the IRS. The reason for that was the U.S. courts and legal system. The blackmail paid off U.S. Congress has made no moves to change that system since they installed it in 1913. Now, on Wednesday, 10 July 2024, Fox News discussed the Big N law indicating that the nation had broken away from the Federal Reserve System by way of global currency reset to gold asset-backed currencies of 209 sovereign nations. That act closed the Federal Reserve and IRS, while the U.S. changed over to the sales tax on the new items, and the deep state cabal no longer had control of U.S. taxpayers' money. President JFK faked his own, as a clone was put in his place. He was protected by Onassis on his private island, who Onas married his wife to protect her too. Let's see. It's talking about Jenny Hill. Possible timing on Friday, 12 July 2024. Jay Jr. Said he would make a huge announcement, while Sleepy has called a press conference to also make an announcement on Friday. Well, I haven't heard Sleepy's announcement, so I'm just assuming he fell asleep. Saturday, 13th July 2024, start of scare event. Q CODEZ VII on Telegram. Monday, 15th July 2024, end of scare event. Q, same thing on Telegram. What I'm saying on Telegram, it's CODEZ V11, like, Roman numerals V11 on Telegram. Tuesday, 16th July 2024, lockdown, same thing on Telegram. This July 24, 17, the 17th letter, Junior, on Wednesday, 10 July, Telegram posted a picture of President the Hat with the heading, "My Vice President speaks in 7 days. Who do you think it will be?" Global currency reset. Here's Bruce's big call number. An email went out to the Redemption Center leaders and was received at 5 p.m. Thursday, 11. Guys, we've already covered all of this. So I'm going to call it a night. Say a quick prayer. I'm going to call it a night. I'm very thirsty, so it's warm in the house tonight. Keep your eyes out. Keep sending me things. If there's stuff good, I'll either come on and I'll do a show like I'm doing now, Saturday and Sunday, or I'll do one like I did the other day and just post it and put it out to everybody. I want to thank everybody who came on tonight. And I know you guys, we're at very low numbers tonight, but I know that Wolverine is more important than I am. He knows a lot more than I do. So with that being said, everyone enjoy their weekend, and I will see you over the weekend probably, but if not, I'll be back Monday. Good night. God bless, and we love you all.